Welcome back to another episode of Tawny Yvette Speaks. I am your host, Tawny Yvette, and for the next few minutes, we'll be talking about popular headlines in the news.
Hey guys. Okay. I was not prepared to come on live stream, but I am a little perturbed. I mean, I can't even. My phone has been going off dramatically for the last couple of days. Haven't been feeling well, and I said, no, I'm not going to go live. But, and then I said, well, I'll go live tomorrow. But it's Christmas Eve. I got a lot of stuff to do, which I still plan on going live, but I don't plan on talking about this. This is absolutely insane. It's bananas. It's crazy. I, I don't even know what to say about this anymore. Like, there are so many stories and so many broadcasts and so many live streams, so many videos, so many articles, blog articles, newspaper clippings about the Real Housewives of Potomac and Jamal Bryant. And it seems like nobody is slowing down on this story at all. And there are so many pieces to the puzzle. And I first wanted to address the apology video that I did. So a lot of people are like, that apology video came out a couple months ago. He was apologizing for something totally different. That is not the information that I was given. So, and I'm still not sure on, which apology, because he has two or three apologies out there, Monique and, her husband. So I'm like, I don't understand how much damage he did. I'm not for certain. What I am certain of is Jamal Bryant and his attack against Mr. Samuels. I understand that Jamal Bryant was indeed talking about part three of the reunion. And so, because of that fact, one of these apologies has to be about that. And it really doesn't make me any difference because I don't know these people at all. So it's like whatever he was apologizing for, he shouldn't have anything to apologize for. Now, getting back to the news and in the story, we have not heard from Giselle Bryant. She hasn't said anything. She hasn't come on live stream except the chat room or whatever, which is on Bravo. And, she denies these claims. Giselle is denying, all this stuff. She's saying that, her and Jamal are fine. Then on the other side, you have Jamal Bryant, who isn't saying anything about Giselle at all, except for in the live stream that exploded. My opinion on this was that Jamal Bryant should not have went live at all. He should have kept quiet. He said Giselle wanted him to keep quiet about it, and that's exactly what I think he should have done. But there are so many plots and twists and turns to this story. Michael Darby lost it because Juan apologized. Juan, he asked Robin to marry him. I don't understand why he was bent out of shape because of this. I have no idea. I'm just like, what business of it was his? What business was it of yours if they, decided to get married or not? It was kind of strange to me. I didn't understand that at all. But okay, whatever. Chris Samuels threatens Jamal Bryant over the remarks that he made. Okay, so now that leads us to more lawsuits. So Gigi has been served a cease and desist letter by Monique. There are lawsuits floating around in the air pertaining to Chris Samuels. He's supposed to be suing Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant, has threatened to, sue the Samuels. Everybody is suing everybody. And I'm like, this didn't even, all of this happened because of stupid stuff, because of what people say. And it's ridiculous. I mean, I completely disagree with Monique when she did the little song, Drag Queens. I finally listened to it. I think it's just juvenile. The whole that all of these people need to grow up. And my personal opinion, my commentary on Pastor Jamal Bryant is that you shouldn't have even been on the show. If in fact Giselle and Jamal's um, relationship was just for the viewers, it was just to create a storyline. Um, I don't know. I kind of feel like if Giselle knew, if she was in on it, then yeah, she should be fired. Monique should be fired because you don't put your hands on someone else. What do I think about Candace? I think still, and I'll say it again, Candace has a big mouth and she needs to control her temper. She needs to control her mouth. Do I think it warranted her being jumped on? No, because like Karen said, all of them have done damage with their mouth, with their words. And so, but this is the first time a physical fight has ever happened. As you can see on the screen, I have, been looking at a lot of different videos, and all of the videos that you see, I've kind of taken a gander at all of them. Jamal Bryant's baby. There is a baby out there, and the mother um, is planning on speaking out. This child is not in Atlanta. So technically, Jamal Bryant didn't lie when he went on his live stream and he said there's not a baby in Atlanta. He was absolutely right. There's not a baby by him in his church. Absolutely right. But the way he worded it lets me know further that, yeah, there are a lot of children out there. And hi, Merry Christmas. Welcome. What are you doing up so late? um, as you can see on the screen, there are a lot of people who are still in support um, of Jamal, and he's taken to Twitter, to speak his piece and all this kind of stuff. And I get it. You want people to support you, you want people to be down with you, but I just feel like it. You're a pastor. So pastors don't do this kind of stuff. Pastors don't say, I live in Atlanta, but I'm from Baltimore and, good night. Like, that's juvenile. Like, you're a leader. Like, you haven't even been at this church, long at all. And it seems like this poor church, just stays in the middle of controversy. They stay in the news for the wrong reason. And this isn't making it any better. So, a vlogger, put it out there that Jamal Bryant has been asked to step down. Um, and I've gotten a lot of emails and a lot of inboxes. What do I think? I think that if Jamal Bryant can't keep his penis in his pants, that yeah, he should step down because this creates a lot of controversy. This creates a lot of drama in church that shouldn't be. Um, they're calling it a nervous breakdown. Jamal has a nervous breakdown on Instagram. I don't think it was a nervous breakdown. I think it was planned out. I think he had his notes in his upside down binder of everything he wanted to address, and none of what he addressed on his live stream was pertaining to anything Giselle's audience wanted to hear. We wanted to hear that they were in a relationship and he supports her 100%, but none of that happened. So now we have the ex girlfriend of Jamal Bryant speaking out. She actually came on camera. Tanya Griffin was on camera with All About the Tea. I did watch the video, I watched the live stream. It was a really good interview. Before that, she was on Larry Reed Live, but it was just a phone conversation where he put his phone on speaker so everybody could hear what she had to say. Her stories have not changed from one platform to another. Her story always remains the same. They were in a relationship for 8 years. Everybody, knows that you don't have to put your relationship out in public in order for it to be real. It may not have been that real, or it may not have felt the same way to Jamal as it did to Tanya, but she's definitely hurt and devastated by all of this. So to her, she's been cheated on 3 times by Jamal Bryant. Hey, Kay. Jamal is definitely a trip. So Tanya, she says she was cheated on by Jamal with Tweet. She was cheated on by Jamal with Giselle, of course, recently, and there was another minister lady that Jamal was involved in, and supposedly he's involved in right now. And this is what pushed Tanya to the edge, and she counseled a relationship. She said last night on All About the Tea they haven't been together for about a year. So this stuff has been going on for a long time. I think it's getting a lot of press right now because of the reunion episodes, and a lot of people are getting information mixed up because there's so much going on. I feel like these people literally need to get something else going on in their life. Now, I heard on the clips from Real Housewives of Potomac that Monique said out of her mouth while she was trying to get back into the restaurant, or the venue. She told one of the producers, he was going, Monique, please don't do this. And she was like, get out of my way. I'm not coming back anyway. So let me go and kick her bleep. And she said that more than once. So I'm assuming that she's probably not going to be back. And as far as Chris Samuels is concerned, he could care less about the Real Housewives of Potomac. So whether she loses her job or she quits, I don't really think she's coming back. She probably doesn't care to come back. Um, but jumping back to Jamal Bryant, I think that he has done exactly what he wanted to do. He's in the public's eye. Everybody is creating a buzz. His name is out there, and this is exactly what he wanted, because everything that Jamal does, he brags about it. And I've never met in person a minister that does that. My dad, just, for example, my dad has been a pastor of the same church for almost 35 years. Okay. They're still going strong in the pandemic. He he enters the building by himself, and he streams online so everybody can still have church. He doesn't say anything about tithes and offerings. He doesn't say anything about coming back into the building. His focus is to keep everybody safe while he still does his job. My dad is 80 years old and he's still ministering, and it has nothing to do with money, and it has nothing to do with the charity that he does in public. And that's what I'm used to. I'm used to ministers helping the communities and stuff and not being in the public's eye for it, because you're not supposed to brag about what you're doing. Hey, no tolerance. Greetings, Twana. Happy holidays. I believe Jamal is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and Giselle tried to be with other men and failed, so she ran back to Jamal, and I bet he lied to her about his fornicating. K Solo says he should also step down as pastor minister. He's a disgrace. What I feel, and I am agreeing with some of what y'all are saying, especially no tolerance. When you said he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, I don't think his intentions are 100%. After hearing the testimony, um, thank you, no tolerance. My dad does not play that kind of stuff, and he's been on television before. Pastor Robert Johnson, that's my dad. He's been on TV before. Him and his brothers growing up had a singing group. He's been in the ministry for over 50 years. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Around here, he's very well known, but he's not going to do stuff for clout. He's not going to do stuff, for show. The people that you touch with your ministry are the people that you're supposed to meet. I don't have a problem with someone advertising their ministry, because you have to let people know that you're out there. What I have a problem with is you always coming on social media bragging about what you're doing. Are you familiar with him? He used to be on Blog Talk Radio with me. We had a show, um, showing your faith, and yeah, he's been around. So Daddy has been, in and out of the public side for years, and right now he's just not interested in it. Not just because of the pandemic and his age or whatever, but he's more into, just, if I feel like getting up and go donating clothes, let's do it. If I feel like getting up and just blessing somebody with some food, let's do it. And it has nothing to do with him being on air, being, on camera. And I respect ministers like that. Yes, I'm telling you, my dad has been preaching. What is this? 2000? It's fixing to be 2021. So he's been preaching for 55 years. It'll be 56 years next year. Yep. Dark skin, gray hair, gold tooth from back in the 70s. Um, but that's what I'm used to, you guys. I'm used to ministers actually being ministers and taking care of the community. And I'm a PK, I'm a preacher's kid. Yes, I totally agree. No tolerance. I'm telling you, that man, and you know what else? And this, again, I'm from the South. This is what I am used to. Even when you pray for people, ministers out here don't even touch women. They have their wives come up and, pray, if they need to lay hands or whatever. It keeps down controversy. Wherever my dad goes, my mom is right there. Wherever he's preaching, she is right there. She's a minister also. If she's asked to take the pulpit, she will, but she's always sitting on the front row. And normally the whole family, travels with him. So there's never been any backlash. There's never been any, he's cheating or he's sleeping with somebody or he likes somebody. And this is what you get in most ministries when you have a pastor that is married. When you hire a single man to come into the pulpit, there's always going to be something said. He's sleeping with somebody in the pulpit, or he's, having kids, he's fornicating. Nobody stays single for that long, and you're going to assume that he's celibate just because he's a minister. And Tanya, she said out of her mouth last night in that interview that they were fornicating, and she is a female pastor in New York, and she owned up to it. We never have heard Jamal Bryant own up to any of this stuff. No tolerance said exactly. That's what true men of God does to show respect for women. Exactly. And we don't get any of that, from Jamal. Will he ever be married again? I don't know, but I can't see it being to Giselle. I think that he threw Giselle under the bus. That's how I feel. She looked mortified sitting on that. Hey, Vern. Giselle Bryant looked mortified sitting on that stage with those other women. She was totally caught off guard. She didn't know what to say. And, I did feel for her because I kind of feel like her heart is, you know, in the place of I want to repair my family. You know what I mean? Hey, Alabama, how you doing, sis? No tolerance says, especially one that got booted out from his old church and the state. Exactly. Alabama, I do too. I think Potomac probably will be canceled because Salt Lake City is rising um, in the TV polls, and they're getting a lot more attention than Real Housewives of Potomac. Not all advertising is good. And this doesn't look good for the show, and it certainly doesn't look good for Jamal. Everybody who's sitting on that stage, with the exception of Robin, looks crazy. Excuse me, and Wendy, because she's so new. And I think Wendy just kind of walked into a show and she didn't know that all this was going to blow up. And so she doesn't know what to think about these women. It would have been great if Wendy had have jumped on the right foot with Karen, because that's a friendship that I can see. And, who knows? In the future, they may become friends. I hope they do. Um, yeah, it is. It looks very messy, Alabama. It looks very messy. Um, Potomac used to be something that I could sit and watch with my daughter when it first came on. And we would sit, we would have our popcorn, our soda pop, and, just laughing. And, they were joking around, trying to see where Karen lived and, dressing up in disguises. And you know what I'm saying? It was never anything like this. And then when it got too seedy, when the show got to be too much, that's when it was like, well, we don't really want to watch anymore. So I started TiVoing the show and I would just watch it whenever. But this right here, you know, you're putting people's jobs in jeopardy. You're putting people's family in jeopardy. I completely agree with the Samuels about Gigi involving their child in the mix. Um, she's an opportunist, if you ask me. There was no reason for Gigi to come out of the woodwork with this. She wasn't going to get a seat on the show. She was only available, what, the second season, and it wasn't even that much. Alabama says Wendy inserted herself too much. She should have just stayed neutral. Fern said they are too grown for that. They are. I keep saying that. This is like high school. Um, and I mean, Wendy, she kind of had to insert herself a little bit because you want to support your friends. So I totally agree with that. I like Wendy's moves a lot better than Karen's this season, though, because Karen, you can't burn both ends of the candle. I understand that she's trying to be everybody's friend, but I think she feels bad for Monique, and so she's leaning more towards Monique, and she kind of left Candace, hanging out in the cold. No Tolerance says Giselle clearly said she will always be the first lady. True. She's too proud to be part of Jamal's demonic behavior and will be damaging to her daughters. I totally agree with that. I don't think that Giselle and Jamal should be a couple at all. I really don't. Alabama says from what I found out about Gigi, seems to me she wants Monique's life. She's an opportunist, definitely. Um, I'm just saying, like, Gigi, you're a non-factor. Stay out of it and stop reaching out to people. Now, with Tanya Griffin, I understand why she was reaching out. She wanted her story out there. And this gave Monique ammunition, okay? So, going back to Chris Samuels, he had a lot to apologize for with his actions, but we won't actually see what Jamal was insinuating until Sunday night. So the apologies, could have been for whatever, in my opinion, because we haven't seen what they know yet. We haven't seen it. So people were jumping down my throat, and that's one reason why, I was like, well, I feel better. I need to go live because I could care less. This is just a television show. It's a reality show. I've never met any of these people in person. So, for real, I'm not getting invested in this as if my feelings are going to be hurt. I feel sorry for this cast. And I feel sorry for Jamal too because they don't know how to behave. They don't know how to act. And they don't know how to stand in their platforms. As a pastor, as a minister, as a Christian, you have no reason to behave this foolishly in public. You are crazy. You look crazy. And you have Giselle and your family looking crazy. Hey, Tammy. Chris displays aggressive violence behavior like his wife. I kind of feel like we're going to see that Sunday night, Tammy. And that's why I posted the video about the apology, because I was like, for me, and this was just my opinion, there where is the lie? Uh Andy was telling somebody named Chris to sit down. We couldn't see what was going on, but they obviously knew what was going on. And from the live streams that Monique and Chris have posted on the internet, please believe this man has said several times that's bleep whooping, behavior, and you put so and so in your mouth and I'll bleep 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 you and all this kind of stuff. That sounds like a little bit of a threat to me. First, you're apologizing to everybody and then you're threatening to whoop bleeps all over the place. No, sir. No, sir. I want to be on their side. I do feel sorry for them. They did lose a baby and the new child. I couldn't figure out if Gigi was talking about the baby Monique lost or the new baby. Either way, she shouldn't have been talking about the children, but I understand how the children got involved. It wasn't saying, you know, about your children, it was saying about Monique's actions with that trainer. And I feel like when Monique keeps saying, to everybody, leave people's marriages alone, leave people's marriages alone. I was a little bit lost. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, why does she keep saying that throughout the season? Like, what is she talking about? I'm like, hey, QT, what's up? Hey, beautiful, I'm late, but I have to go check out the city of Seat Pleasant. Now, I just got tipped onto that, QT. I am gonna do a video about that. I did see some of the photos that was sent to me. Ooh, girl. Ooh, girl. Is that the mayor? Is that the mayor, QT? Totally off topic, but is the chick in the stripper attire the woman who's running for mayor? Just say yes or no. I need to get that straight, QT, before I go live. Tammy said, I think Andy was letting us know in a roundabout way that Monique may be fired. Definitely, definitely. Everybody was saying that Andy hates Monique like he turned on Nene. I don't think he hates anybody. Listen, Andy's not getting fired, okay? But his line of questioning and his behavior, lets the audience know that he disapproves of something that you've said or done or both. He targeted her behavior in that fight too much. He disagrees with it. It makes the show look bad, and then that bounces on to Andy. Why does Andy keep putting these crazy people on TV? He's irritated, I'm sure, and I would be too. You're messing with Andy's money a little bit, messing with Bravo's money. Do you think they're going to choose your bad behavior over network money? Absolutely not. No Tolerance says, in my opinion, I think most men will defend their wives and their character. True. Ashley and Candace's husband has also shown their violent temper also. Um, I don't know what Ashley husband shows besides grabbing people's butts, men in particular, but it's none of my business. I'm just saying, Ashley's husband showed up in the tabloids with his tidy whities on. So, anyway, Candace's husband definitely will stand by her, and I think he feels like he has to be a little bit more aggressive or whatever. They're newlyweds still, and so you know what I'm saying. I understand. Now, if he goes off and smacks somebody or hits somebody, then I'm gonna have to get off their team. You know what I'm saying? I can't. QT says, all I know is Gigi had a whole Facebook group against her mayor, lots of accusations. I saw the page. I haven't been introduced to the group, but I did see the page, and ooh, child, it's a hot mess. No Tolerance says that's messed up. He didn't fire Portia when she fought Kenya and Cynthia. Absolutely true. Most of their other housewife shows fight like crazy. They do, but I think that Potomac was presented to be different. You know what I'm saying? Potomac is very old money. It's very prestigious. Um, it is more, of an upper class society, if you will. And because a lot of people didn't even like who used to talk about Potomac except rich folk. Not me. I didn't even know Potomac existed. It made me want to get a map. I was like, well, where is this Potomac? Ooh, Alabama Teresa. I used to live for her fights. I mean, her face would be purple. She'd be screaming so much. Alabama said Monique knows it. That's why she said that money was nothing to her. True. Girl, they've been fighting way before Monique on other franchises. Definitely true. Heck, one of those white women pushed Andy at the reunion. That was Teresa. I remember that. That was Teresa. But I live for Teresa. She is a walking mess. Okay. Tammy said black women need to get focused. I totally agree with that. Andy is giving Ashley and Michael white privilege. I think he's giving them enough rope to hang themselves. Michael's going to end up in jail if he doesn't stop. The black women need to stick together and stop falling for the setup. True. But then that leaves Ashley in a little bit of, do I go to the white side or do I go to the black? No, no pun intended. No tea, no shade. I'm just saying she Ashley is naive. That's the only word that I can describe, or else she's playing naive. She's playing like she doesn't see the danger that Michael, you know, absorbs. Like he's all the time doing something he has no business doing. Like when he went up to Juan, or not Juan, but Candace's husband, and he kept telling Giselle, I don't think Juan's going to propose. I don't think Juan's going to propose. And then he goes up to, Candace's husband, and starts getting too close, whispering in his ear and all this kind of stuff. Who does that? Good morning, Ree. How you doing, boo? Tammy says that was a violent attack that Monique should not be on that show. I'm not team Monique. I was team Monique when she first came, but the last couple of seasons I haven't really cared for her much. No Tolerance says Potomac, the city itself is higher class, but he hired low class acting women. So you get what you pay for. Woo. Okay, that's a mouthful. Alabama says, but Monique was a bit violent, and then she was talking about finishing Candace off. I mean, running around the building, hurling threats and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. She is looking at money, Tammy. I said that last night or the night before. You're absolutely right. She's playing like she's naive because she doesn't want to let go of that check. She's getting money. She's living the life. And so Ashley, hey JJ, Ashley is probably putting money, in the bank. She's doing like Tyler Perry said in one of his plays. She's getting, a tree branch here and a tree branch there. And once her bank account looks right, she's probably gonna dip out. QT says, what's unfortunate is that Gigi was friends to Monique for 20 years. True. If we side eye one, we have to side eye the other. I stand with Chris for defending his family. I do agree. When men stand up and they defend, their children, they defend their families. I totally agree. I think also there's a way to do it. I just feel like the people, going back to the people that they hired to be on Potomac, I think all of them need counseling. I think all of them need to be in counseling, with a life coach or a counselor or a psychiatrist or whatever, because there's more underlying things that we don't know. And then you have to take into consideration, you guys, what they don't show us, because there's a lot of clips that probably should have been um, on the show that they decided not to put up. So when Monique was, challenging Andy, talking about, yeah, it was on the show, and Andy was like, what you're talking about is not on the show, and she kept saying it was probably filmed, and they decided to edit it out. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, I mean, you signed the contract, so you can't get mad at Bravo and at the Real Housewife franchise for how they do their job. You knew how they did their job because you've seen the other franchises. So I mean, JJ, you don't like Andy. um No Tolerance says, I think the black women sign up for the drama. They see what goes on the other shows, like the people they used to go on the Jerry Springer show. You got a point. Wendy said that her mom used to be a fan of, I think it was Orange County, wasn't it? And so she didn't even know about the entire franchise. So now she's catching up. And I think Wendy is kind of like, oh God, what have I signed up for? Vern said, I will always see Ashley as the pretty girl with the old man for a husband. Exactly. And that's what she is. She's very young. She married a really old guy, and I don't know. I mean, you got to think about some of the stuff that you do before you do it. You just don't marry an old guy for money, and now you want to change because you still have a room to grow. And, your husband is not going to grow. He's already set in his ways. If you married somebody who was a freak of nature, then that's who he is, period. So I don't know what Ashley's going to do, but playing like she's naive just so she can keep stacking her, his money, um, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Ree says that I don't think that Monique never owns her portion of things. I agree. She seems like she has zero compassion. I totally agree. She's also one of those I'm sorry if I did something type of people. Right. I'm sorry if it hurt your feelings, or I'm sorry if you took it that way. Never, I'm sorry for my actions. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with that. QT says confessionals are part of the show. Monique has a point. I like the confessionals. I sometimes like the confessionals better than the actual footage. Alabama said, but rest assured Candace will be fired after next season if Monique is gone. I don't know. I don't know if she will because, Candace has plans now. She's going into the studio to sing. She wants a baby. Yeah, they're still newlyweds. They just bought the house. She's got some stuff that Andy obviously wants to see. So, I don't know. She might hold on for him because you never know. We still haven't seen Candace's stepchildren. There's a lot that she listen. Her part on the show could be padded with a lot of stuff. Her mom's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We still haven't really gotten good footage of her dad and that side of the family. There is so much that they can do with Candace if her and her husband agree to put that stuff on the show. And I think that they will. This is a paycheck that Candace obviously needs now that they bought the house. Tammy says Monique isn't innocent. True. I believe that it was some flirting between her and that trainer. I agree as well. Gigi said that he has the club footage of her flirting with him. I totally agree. Um, if you turn a man off, or it takes me back to that movie Obsession, where Beyonce was asking her husband, how come you didn't tell me immediately when this happened? As soon as Monique, got hit on, she should have told Chris, and that would have put the kibosh on everything. No Tolerance says, and we also need to take into consideration in the real world, unless we are in any of their shoes, we do not know how we or our husband's significant other will react to provoking situation. That's what I was saying earlier, No Tolerance. I was like, we don't, and then we don't know how much of the footage they cut. We don't really know what was going on behind the scenes. QT says that Chris Samuels has best chance at lawsuit since CTE can't be diagnosed until death. True. Jamal said that he was spoke to friends too. They will be called to court as well. Absolutely. I think Jamal overstepped his boundaries with that. He really shouldn't have been on live at all, but that's something that he shouldn't have said. I mean, point blank in period. I think Jamal was way out of line with that. And he really shouldn't have even been on a live stream without Giselle. Hey, Nikki Pooh. Nikki says that Giselle mentioned the trainer in her confessional. Uh huh. I did see a clip of that. So she did carry that information over to the show. But I think what Andy meant was Gigi should have been on camera to say all this. It was secondhand information, and they didn't see inside of Monique and Chris's home when they had the conversation about what Gigi said. So it wasn't enough to go on. It wasn't like they could call Gigi up and say, could you come back and have dinner or lunch with Monique? Because they weren't friends anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Alabama said the green eyed bandit will turn. Woo, my God. That's crazy. That is crazy. JJ says, I hate when people apologize with the word if. True. It reminds me of the movie Cinderella, the evil stepmom who said if. It's always if I offended you, or if I said something to hurt your feelings, or, if. And then, Monique is really popular for saying, I'm sorry if I said something, but I don't think I did. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I really don't think I said anything, that deep. I hate that. That's ooh, that just rubs me the wrong way. Don't even apologize. Don't apologize. If that's what you're gonna do, don't even apologize. Tammy said, but I don't agree with men getting up in women's mess. And I don't agree with them, challenging women, especially when you're as big as Chris. Um Michelle, I'm late. Is she suing him now? Yes, everybody is suing everybody. Tammy said people are talking about Gigi, but her live was very interesting. She wasn't telling all lies. True. The truth is in there somewhere. I agree. And I, listen, y'all, Monique is a very attractive woman. Monique is always going to have options. Pretty women are never alone. And, if somebody sees this woman out and about and they want to talk to her, she's well known now. She's on national television. They're going to try. They're going to try to see. And it's her job to secure her marriage and her, family if her man isn't around to take charge of the situation. And she probably did flirt back. I mean, worse things have happened. No Tolerance said we are basically speculating and going by what we heard and a little see. We're speculating by what Bravo allows us to see and what they have put on live stream. And I will say this to, everybody. I've said it before. I think that they should keep their mouths closed, excuse me, until they air these different situations on television. I don't think we should see anything on the internet until it has aired on television. This is how information gets mixed up. This is how everybody is confused. That should be a part of the contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It throws everything off. And now you have people defending themselves, and you're like, why is he back on live stream? Why is she on live stream? What is this going on? You know what I'm saying? Because some of the stuff Jamal was talking about happened, and some of the stuff wasn't even on, the show. And I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? Nobody cares about why you weren't on the show and where you were, because that wasn't even brought up on the show. You should have moved heaven and earth to have your woman's back. But you didn't. But Chris is there with, his wife. Candace's husband is there with her. Ray is there with Karen. Where's the great Jamal? Nikki said that Candace admitted on her IG that they plotted to tell the rumor of the trainer, but Candace said nobody would believe it because Chase looked just like Chris. Well, the thing is, now you see what I'm talking about? Nikki said because Chase looked just like Chris. I am to understand that Chase wasn't even the baby they were talking about. They were talking about the baby that Monique lost. So again, they should keep this crap off the internet until it airs. Tammy said that this has turned very messy, so sad and disappointing. That's why I feel like Potomac isn't going to last very long unless they do a complete 180. They need to turn the show around. Michelle said, do we know who will be returning and who's not? I know Andy said that he was bringing everyone back, but Andy is known to lie. Well, I saw last night on Bravo that there will be somebody leaving, and Andy was sort of leaning towards it being Monique. So I don't know if she quit or if she's not going to be asked to be back. But one thing I can definitely say about Bravo TV is if they are tired of your antics and they don't want you back, your contract they offer you will be trash. And we all know that because of how Nene Leakes was done before this upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. QT said, I agree. We can just point out how these new women bring it to men as if they are women until the men bite back. Oh my God. Michelle says she's not his woman. That's why he didn't have her back. Exactly. Exactly. Jamal lied, and his girlfriend broke up with him because he lied, and the other woman is now speaking out. So Jamal has made a mess once again. Tammy George says, I heard that Juan contacted Chris Samuels interference to what took place at the reunion. I also understand that Chris and Juan has spoken, and I also understand that Chris and Candace's husband have spoken over the phone. Michelle said Jamal said he's single. He absolutely did say he was single because he's not married and there's no ring on his finger. So I guess to him that is considered being single until you're married, which means that he shouldn't have been fornicating. No Tolerance said I flirt too, but because I'm not a celebrity, it will go unnoticed. Right. But it won't be any different than celebrities doing it. It's all a shame. I mean, everybody, some people just have a natural flirtation, and that's to be understood. But get your head in the game. If you are a new celebrity or an old celebrity, don't be doing stuff that people are going to dislike. And if it can cause a problem. She should have been adult enough to say, wait, I don't need to be flirting with this man. this might get back to the television show. I'm married, I have a family, no flirting allowed. I mean, you got to take responsibility for some of the stuff you do. Well, for all of the stuff you do. Everything isn't everybody else's fault. It's not the trainer's fault. And to be honest with you, it's not really Gigi's fault. You shouldn't have been flirting in the first place. QT said, translation, if the baby didn't look like Chris, it would have went down. I feel like, I mean, but you see what I'm saying? Some people say it was the baby Monique lost. Some people say it was the new baby they have. I don't respect women. Wait, let me go back up. I saw something. Okay, no tolerance said, I agree, QT. I don't respect women that cap in men's face. It's ridiculous. JJ said, I feel sorry for Nene. Do you really? Do we feel sorry for her? Ginger Snaps! What's up? Girl, I haven't talked to you in forever. But I be scoping your mukbangs though. How you doing? Ginger Snap said Bravo wants to keep riding the ratings wave. True. Then after the reunion airs this Sunday, they will reveal what's next. Hey, it's business for them. It's business for Bravo. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're, one of the leading television stations. I mean, they get the ratings. They bring the mess. Tammy said, let us address Karen and her lies. Boy, didn't she. Karen's nose is growing like Pinocchio for all of those lies she tells. The only thing that really upset me, Tammy, was the fact that she lied about Monique coming to her event and she knew Candace would be there. That's when I was like, Karen, I just lost a little bit of respect for you. I can't believe you did that. Ginger Snap said, but this drama has been spilled into people's personal lives. True, including Andy. Monique won't take any accountability, and Bravo knows she's lying. There's a lot of BTS mess. There's a lot of mess, all kinds of mess, and I feel like um, Bravo and especially Andy is not going to allow anybody to put their job in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? So if you gotta go, you gotta go. Cause you mean look at Nene. She was so loud and she wouldn't let you talk over her. And then she attacked one of the cameramen in her closet. And then, I mean, she just was going on and on and on. Even on the reunions, you couldn't get a word in edgewise. It was like every season, Nene was just she was losing her mind for God's sake. And then also they got a lot of backlash for airing Nene's husband's cancer, um, his cancer ordeal. So it just wasn't looking good for Bravo, which means where's the problem? Nene's the problem. She's got to go. So they gave her a trash contract that they knew she wouldn't sign. And that's probably what's going to happen to some of the ladies on Potomac. I mean, they need to wake up. They brought Wendy into the fold when they didn't even need another person. I mean, I would be like, okay, I need to step my game up because, they could replace me any minute. You know what I'm saying? Michelle said that honestly, I think Giselle set Jamal up. See, I think it was the other way around. I think that Jamal was using Giselle for airtime. But Michelle says, I know how reality works. I think this was her way of getting him back for causing her to have a mental breakdown and all that cheating. Nah, he used her once again. That's just my opinion. QT said, did anyone see the interview with Tanya, the good pastor's ex who sent Monique the text? Absolutely. Tanya Griffin, I watched it. I was glued to my computer. And I believe what she said. It's right there on the screen. Ex-girlfriend Tanya Griffin, I believe her. I don't think she would have any reason to lie. She wants her story to be told because she was hurt. So I believe her. Nikki said that no, they wasn't talking about the first pregnancy because the rumor for that was abortion. Yep, it was. I just learned that not a couple days ago, and the trainer rumor came later. Okay, so then you see what I'm saying? Some people had some information messed up because there were two babies. You know what I'm saying? Um, But see, that's why they shouldn't be talking about the stuff. They shouldn't be talk. You don't bring the children in. Just say that Monique was flirtatious and leave the part out about that's why Chris was having, he should be looking at is that his child. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to do something to hurt Monique, that's great. But when it hurts the whole family, you need to step back and look and say, why? What was Gigi's motive for even doing that? No Tolerance said, well, it sure seems like Chris had her back either way, so Gigi did all of that for no reason. You know, what was Gigi's motive for that? You know what I'm saying? It was so creepy. Like, you're not even on the show anymore. Like, are you trying to get back on the show? Like, are you trying to take Monique's place? Like, what was that all about? No Tolerance says that I do not feel bad for Nene. I think that she is played out. I also think that she got in trouble for attempting to spit on Kenya. True, and her overall violent behavior. Listen, I'm telling you. Karen turned her back on Candace. I kind of agree with that, Tammy. But Candace has her back when Ashley, Robin, and Giselle were digging her out. Karen has shown her true colors. I don't know what that was about. Karen knows she should have been on Candace's side because she had information. She had seen all the paperwork because Monique was going to make sure Karen knew. And Monique didn't even, call Karen out when Karen told Candace, yes, I would have been, calling my attorneys too. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy stuff. They do stuff backwards. QT said that Karen played the Bravo game. Had she told the girls Mo was coming, they wouldn't have filmed, and she wanted that free promo. Well, she needed that free promo. I don't know if I'm going to buy a wig or not, but, happy for you. Ginger Snap said, honestly, Monique needs to tread lightly. All these D9 connected folks have a lot of pull in that area. True. I wouldn't be surprised if something embarrassing comes out. As if they don't have enough embarrassment already. And I promise you, this upcoming Sunday, girl, Ginger Snaps, I'm going to be glued to the TV because Chris keeps saying how he's got all kinds of dirt that he's been sitting on for over a year. So I want to see if he's going to spill some dirt. I'm here for it. No Tolerance says that Giselle's face dropped when Monique exposed Jamal and embarrassed, consumed her immediately. It would have me too. That's why I'm like, that wasn't a reaction that I would have expected from Giselle. And that's why I kind of feel the way that I do, is that Giselle was, the look on her face was, I need to have a conversation with the pastor. Ginger Snap said, and Chris questioned Gigi about Monique's cheating. Gigi denied it, but Chris suspected even before the club incident that Mo was cheating. Ugh, the mess and the drama. And also, Monique needs to watch her mouth when she's talking about, I wish that Chris would support me more, and I wish Chris would give me the attention on my birthday and stuff like that, because it gives people an edge up. You know what I'm saying? It gives people, reason to look at their marriage and go, what do we not know? You know what I'm saying? These are not friends that you want to sit around and talk to about your marriage if, in fact, you doubt their friendship. And now Monique can see how many friends she's got. She's got Ashley, and she's got Karen. Reese said that Nene is a mean drunk. It gets her in hot water. She needs to put down the bottle. And Wendy Williams said that she's been smoking a little something, so she might want to stop that too. Michelle says, what is the end game for Real Housewives of Potomac? Will they do a complete overhaul? This has got messy and legal. Jamal said he would. Jamal probably isn't joking. He probably has his attorneys on standby. Okay, so No Tolerance says, honestly, if I was on that show, I probably would have slapped Candace in her big mouth also. And I'm not violent, but when provoked over and over, people snap. I personally think Monique snapped. Not me. I just ignore you. I have found in my 49 years of living that when I tend to ignore people, it burns them up way worse than if I jump on them. I do. I just pretend like they're not even in the room. Somebody would, how's Candace doing? I'd be like, who? I don't know. And then that's gonna, then, I can see Candace. Why don't you talk to me anymore? Because you're messy. If you stop acting like Ashley, we could be friends. Because I wouldn't be Ashley's friend either. I would totally ignore Ashley like she wasn't in the room. She's got a big mouth. She's always spreading rumors and gossip, and I don't like her. I think she needs to be off the show. But I feel like if she's contemplating leaving her husband, she can't leave the show because she doesn't have any other job. So, Ashley's kind of stuck. Michelle said Monique probably got receipts on Karen and Ashley. She might. I mean, she said everybody's got a tab in the book. So in her Trapper Keeper, there's probably all kind of receipts that her and Chris, have on everybody, and they probably plan on pulling them all out on this part 3 of the reunion. Yeah, I agree with that, Ginger Snap. I like Charisse on the show because she's just a big old mess, and she was losing her mind slowly before she left the show. I would like to see her come back, and I would like to see the other crazy one, the other beauty queen that they brought back as a friend. I would like to see her come back on the show because she's crazy as a Betsy bug too. Nikki said the rumors of the pastor was out way before the reunion was taped, so Giselle was not her first time hearing it. Well, it all depends. Like there was about 5 or 6 rumors based on Jamal Bryant's life, and those rumors were circulating before he even got this new church in Atlanta. So she wasn't taking those rumors into consideration because she believed what Jamal was saying. And now this other lady called Zuri has a baby that's about a year old, and we're waiting to hear her story. So Zuri, is soon to come out and tell her story as well. I'm pretty sure she's waiting, for the right outlet to reach out to her. But Larry Reed Live is probably going to win that bet because he's already in, the works of trying to get a hold of Zuri so he can get that exclusive. So I am definitely subscribed to Larry, and I will be watching that interview as well. JJ said it's so true. I annoy the heck out of people. I'm telling you, I ignore people like that. I look, I'm too old. People get on my nerves. I need a Valium to deal with people like that. I don't like you will not cause me any drama, little girl. I'm telling you, Candace and Ashley is like the Chihuahua and the little poo. You know those dogs you call noisemakers? That's what they do. They just make a lot of noise. They don't have any, you know what I'm saying? And you need that on the show. You need little bitty noisemakers, because they bring the excitement. No Tolerance says that does work most of the time, but girls, sometimes it takes one person to set you off. I just am not that way. I'm not built that way. I tell you what, when I was in high school, it was real easy to get under my skin, and you probably would get popped. But as I grew up, especially after I had my baby, everything just changed for me. And I think that's why I look at Monique and Ashley the way that I do because they have children. So why are you still behaving like this even when you they're going to see this. They're going to see this show. Ginger Snap said reading is not fundamental for Monique. Oh, God, I'm dying. Woo, No Tolerance says Sharice only had a storyline because she was about to get a divorce. Yeah, she has nothing but a nice wine cellar now. She would be a very interesting tipsy young lady. I think I would like to see Sharice and Karen, get tipsy together and just start spilling tea all over the place. Dear Lynch, Lear, hi. Lear says that Candace did not provoke Monique. Monique provoked Monique. Candace did not deserve to be attacked by Monique. If you cannot read, stay out of the library. Monique is not quick on her feet. Okay, So, since you brought it up, Lear, I am in 98, 99% agreement with you. I feel like as adults, okay, as adults, adult women, adult wives, adult mothers, that you should know how to behave. Now, Candace has no children, but she just got married. She's still a little high strung. And I feel like if Karen was going to be her favorite woman on the planet besides her mother, Karen should have been taking the opportunity to instill some of the Potomac ways of living in Candace instead of trying to kiki ha ha all the time. You know, that's what you do when someone new comes into your fold. You take them under your wing, you show them the ropes, you know what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of that going on Potomac. Now, when the two new ladies on Atlanta, got there, they immediately, gravitated towards, the OGs because they need to know about the group and how things, work and stuff like that. I feel like the women of it just drug Potomac down. It really drug Potomac down. I'm looking at Potomac like, okay, I need to see how these ladies live because I might not never have enough money to live in Potomac. So this is going to be interesting. And then I find out that they act just like the women down the street. I was let down. I ain't gonna lie, I was let down. But as far as Candy and Monique is concerned, Monique knew better. She didn't have to go there. She's mad. Well, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Every time Monique starts talking about how disappointed she is in her marriage, she gets upset and starts snapping at everybody else. So she needs to take up a little time in counseling, which Chris has said on a live stream recently that Monique and him do go to counseling. So maybe she'll have her head in the game later if she comes back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Ginger Snap said kids definitely mellow you out. I totally agree. I used to be a Candace. Did you? I've always been quiet and shy. Always, I would just sit back and watch people, and I really like that side of me. I would just sit back and just watch people, and gather information. So I know a lot of things I probably shouldn't know, but I understand that. JJ said Karen cares about her own safety, and I think Karen was getting close to the exit. I, to be honest with you, I don't even think at this point Karen cares if she's on the show or not. She doesn't really act like. I mean, Karen is so nonchalant on the reunion. It's almost like, you know, I don't care. I'm serious. You might be surprised. We might all be surprised. What if Karen says, you know what, I'm retiring. I gotta go. And then, you know, that might leave the crown in Giselle's lap. But then guess what? Giselle might be getting fired. So, what are we gonna do, you guys? Lear says, well, if kids mellow you out, then what happened to Monique? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It should have. If anybody were to snap, I would have expected it to be Candace. I would expect it to be the littlest one in the bunch. But, you know, I'm telling you, Monique she's got a lot on her plate. She needs to settle down. I think that, when Monique, was tired and drunk or drunk and tired behind the wheel, I think that was a wake up call. She needs to, simmer down a little bit. No tolerances, I agree because Karen has her business. Right. Karen has a couple of businesses. She's got the perfume, she's got her hairline, and then she married well. And you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really have anything to worry about. They don't have anything to worry about. So, the taxes are paid. Everything, everything is everything. Michelle said Karen has built her brand and she's good now. Exactly. QT says, Twana, can we get some views on Candace's mother bopping her and talking down to her when she's in the business of the mind? Yes. And Ginger, I agree with you about the Monique is not fully grown. I totally agree with that. She doesn't act like the other wives of basketball and football. She really does not hold herself, the way that they do. Like, she just doesn't behave the same way the other wives do. So, but then she does say that she stays alone a lot or whatever, so she probably doesn't associate with the other football wives, which may be a reason why she behaves the way she still does, because her life is her husband and her life is her kids and that dang bird. Yeah, I mean, she does have hood tendencies. When these people get married, you know what I'm saying? They're like, when they get together, they're very, very young, very young. And so, you know, but you grow up. It would have been nice if we had seen them grow up together, but just because you're married and you have kids, it doesn't mean that, you're 100% grown and you know what to do. There's always going to be some problems, in your relationship. As it pertains to Candace and her mom, I think that Candace's life coach is absolutely correct in distancing herself from her mom and, weaning off, because she's not a wholesome influence, especially when I saw Candace fighting for the right for her biological father to be at her wedding, and her mom was like, I'm not paying for anything if he comes, and this, that, and the third. At that particular point, you know that this stuff has been going on a long time. And Candace, it's stifling. Candace needs to grow up, and she's not going to be able to continue to grow unless she cuts some ties with her mom and gives her only so much. You can't speak on my marriage. You're not paying for my house anymore, so you can't tell me what to do in my home. You know what I'm saying? It's time to, you have a husband now. So leave to cleave. That's my point on that. Because that in the long run, that could cause problems in her marriage, and especially if they decide to go ahead and have children. And QT is right; all of them are dysfunctional. They don't know how to behave. Nikki said Candace does not listen to anyone. True. Andy even told her to calm down on. Yeah, he did say for her to calm down on Twitter, that her life will probably calm down a little bit if she, calms down. But her husband can really get her to chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't listen to anyone else except her husband. So I do like that about their dynamic. I like that a lot. Michelle says, do you think Giselle will return since all of Jamal's mess is out? And I'm sure this will be the focus next season. I don't know. I kind of want Giselle to come back. My picks are definitely, Robin. I want Robin to come back because I want to see if her and Juan are going to get married. I would love Karen to come back to see if Ray is still in love with his wife. I kind of want Giselle to come back, just to see what's going to happen and what she's going to say about all of this, Jamal Bryant stuff, because I know it's going to be hard, and I feel bad for the children. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to see that play out, but then again, I kind of don't. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to see her kids cry. I don't want to see her, broken up over this. I definitely want Candace to come back because, again, we all need the little chihuahua. And I certainly want to see, I'm Team Wendy. I certainly want to see Wendy come back because Wendy, she's so regal and she's so poised. And you just, we need that because before all we had was Karen. So now we have Wendy, and she brings some of that regalness to the show. Everybody else I don't really care about. They can kick rocks. I mean, and Robin is okay. I don't have anything against Robin. It just, the only thing I'm hanging on to with Robin is, are you getting married to Juan? Did Juan propose to you to let you down, or is he actually going to marry you? Like, that's all with Robin. And then there's nothing else. Like, I mean, I'm saying she didn't even present her business right. Like, what the heck is she just selling baseball caps? Like, we don't understand. QC said that Mo was dead wrong, and I hate what she did. Candace is one of those people that when you say, oh, okay, and ignore, she will keep at it until you back her up. That's why I'll just ignore Candace. If I don't want to talk to Candace, just, and she's like a kid right still, you know what I'm saying? She's very young. Isn't Candace like the youngest on the show? Michelle says, "Do you think Jamal will sue Bravo for airing that what Monique said?" Absolutely not. He doesn't have a leg to stand on, and he didn't have a contract, so there's no way that he can. He didn't have to sign a contract to be on the show. He's not getting a check from Bravo, so there was no contract broken. He doesn't have a leg. He could probably sue. Um, he could probably sue Monique Samuels, and I think, yeah, because Monique threatened and Chris threatened, so they can sue and countersue, which is what they're doing already. But no, and please, Jamal doesn't have a leg to stand on. He should really go back to making amends at his church and doing what he does best, which is, preach and talk and, you know, put on a suit and act like, he knows everything. Michelle says, "Do you think Giselle will return?" Hmm. I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna return. Do you think Jamal will sue Bravo? No. I will agree to disagree. I know plenty of women with children that have not changed much when it comes to behavior. We see it every day on TV and social media, so Potomac women aren't exempt from it. I think the point was that Potomac should be exempt. But again, you have to watch who you bring onto the platform. They were supposed to show us something different. And Giselle said it best at Karen's house. In less than 5 minutes, Monique took all of that away. So, now we look at Potomac just like we look at Atlanta and OC and New York, Jersey, Salt Lake City. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, oh well. Dallas, which is a hot mess. I don't think they should even come back. QT said Candy Mama gonna be her baby daddy if she and Chris ever have a baby. I don't think so. I think Candace's husband will definitely put his foot down with that because he doesn't get to see his own children from his previous relationship that much or whatever. So I don't think Candace's mom will have a leg. Candace will probably get upset, because there'll be friction. But no. Let me see. Where did I stop at? Did you hear her mother when she said that she will come get the baby when she has one? I believe her. I bet she won't. I bet she'll have a fight on her hands. It won't be that easy because that man, he has grief over not seeing his own children again by a previous relationship as much as he wants to. And so, no, he's not fixing to, go into a fight over, the new baby if there will be a new baby. No. She can hang that up. Candace's mom needs to get a man is what she needs to do. She needs to get a man, get a life, and stay out of Candace's personal relationship. It's Candace didn't marry her. Candace has a whole husband, so I think she needs to go find her one too. Shar, what's up, my friend? Shar says that Wendy was boring and it dragging on 5 degrees. Women seems to be jealous of Monique, and she has come a long way. I love Wendy. I think that after Wendy gets her bearings, she's gonna come out full force. And I kind of think some of the ladies actually like Wendy, so that's good that she came in, and they're like, "Oh, hi, we have a new, girl," and she's in the circle. So I'm liking that. Walk by faith and not by sight. Hello, hello. Jamal has a lifetime of repentance, and that is what he needs to be more concerned about, and not social media. Exactly. He needs to be concerned about his show. Shar says, "How did Mo change the show?" How did she change the show? Um, she just is a different grade of woman. She's totally different from the Potomac women. Um, I she Karen said that Wendy wasn't a good fit, but I think Monique was the one that wasn't a good fit. She's never really fit in. You know how you have a puzzle and one piece kind of fits, but not really. You just kind of force it to fit. I think that's what we're seeing with Monique. And, Monique even said that this show hasn't been good for her, it has changed her. So I think in knowing that, you're going to have to decide whether you want peace in your home or if you want a piece of the pie, with the show. No tolerance is right, Twana. That is my point. That it goes on through all of the shows. Yeah. Shar says the show was full of catty mess, and Charisse and Giselle has been into it. So Mo didn't change the show. She did. She changed it for me. Um, Charisse is a different kind of catty. She's nice, nasty, and um, Giselle is just nasty. But Monique did. She brought a different dynamic, and I don't like it. I don't like it for like. I would like it if Monique were on like Atlanta, maybe, but not for Potomac. I want Potomac to go back to how it was before. Michelle said it was never supposed to be a housewife show. It was originally based in the black elite social class in the DMV area. But I do like Potomac though. The first episode I saw, I knew this is my show. I never miss an episode. Monique has done exactly what she set out to do. She knew that she was wrong for attacking Candace, and she has created a diversion to take the attention off of the fight, and it appears to be working. I agree. I also think that that fight was to take some attention off of her and her home life, because there is something going on there. We just don't know all of what it is. And Monique has been hinting around for seasons, and we still don't know the whole story. Why does she keep hinting around that she's not happy with Chris and he doesn't pay her that much attention and blah blah blah? Like, just spit it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why are you guys really in counseling? And why did he happen to air that on the internet instead of bringing that up on the show? And if they are in counseling, why have we not been able to see that on the show? And Shar is exactly right. All of them are a hot mess. I keep saying this. All of them need counseling. Now, who won't be back is the producer that showed those clips to support everything that Monique said during the reunion. No Tolerance says that Wendy has a lot going on for herself in the education and political realm, so I don't think it's a good look for her to be on the show with all that drama. It might stain her image. I don't know, but her mom seems to be really excited that she's on. Her mom is like, my daughter is on Bravo. So they're excited about it. At least let Wendy get 2 or 3 good seasons in before she retires. Bravo doesn't want to show us different. That's why Married to Medicine LA got canceled. I didn't like Married to Medicine LA. I really didn't like it too much. I don't know. It just didn't click with me. I just don't like it. They thought they would see hoodish. They were kind of hoodish. I grew up in the subs, and we do have class. LA is not all hood. No, 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 no. I think it was a little bit, hood-ish. I don't know. I didn't even know they got canceled because that show never did click with me. I watched it, but I would get like bored and go in the kitchen and make a sandwich or something. Like, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Like, I didn't care if I missed an episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't, like the regular Married to Medicine. That's my show. Married to Medicine LA, I was excited for, but I feel like I was let down, so I didn't really care for it. Michelle said that they all have a pedigree and Monique doesn't. Check their family tree except for Ashley. Ooh, really? Hmm. All Bravo cares about is making millions of dollars. Of course. Bravo is all about the money. It's a business. Just like YouTube. YouTube is a machine. It has no feelings. Bravo is a conglomerate. Bravo has no feelings. It's a machine. So they don't care about people. The people care about people. You know what I'm saying? But no. And, sometimes I've seen Andy Cohen get kind of, touched if somebody wasn't coming back. You know what I mean? And he'd be, I'm so sorry that we're losing this one or whatever. But, at the same time, he's not going to put his job in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole machine. Andy could lose his job too. So, You think he's going to fight for somebody and put himself in jeopardy? Absolutely not. And I don't blame him. I mean, depending on what's in their contracts, you sign the contract, you agree to it. So you got to do what you got to do. And JJ said, I wonder if Monique secretly wants a divorce. Don't know. That's what kills me about the hints. I mean, stop hinting at your marriage or whatever, and just, if you have something to say, just say it. All the other women's business has been out there. Monique is the only one that's like, leave people's marriages alone. I mean, look at Ashley, for God's sake. Her husband is a whole hot mess and a half. Shar Shar says the producers are the top. Andy could be replaced. Y'all give him entirely too. That's what I just said. Bravo, Andy has something against black women and men with money, and can stand for themselves. I don't know about all that, but I do agree, with Andy can be replaced, and he can't. I mean, now Andy, he's got a lot going on Bravo, whatever, and he's invested in Bravo, but it doesn't mean that he can't be, replaced. I mean, you look at it like this. Do you really think the machine is going to stop if Andy, God forbid, gets hurt or passes away or he retires on his own? No, they're going to put somebody else in his place and keep on going, because this is a big machine. Like, it's never going anywhere until they decide to replace some shows or, do some other things, introduce some other things. And they have tried to introduce a lot of things on Bravo, and some of them I liked, but some of them I didn't. And I'm just on the fence with Real Housewives of Potomac right now. That's where I am. I'm really on the fence because, look, when I first saw Real Housewives of Atlanta, I will let all of y'all know I was totally invested, especially when Candy Burris finally got on the show, because I love Candy as a producer, as a songwriter. I mean, I don't really care about her, performing. I did used to like Escape back in the day, but she's an awesome songwriter and an awesome producer. And so I was like, she's real money. She made her money. She's the first millionaire in her family. So I was stuck like Chuck to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then when Kenya Moore came, I was like, oh, no, like Miss USA. Followed her. And then Cynthia. I love Cynthia. I have, what is it, Sam Fine. They're all in my book when I started doing hair and makeup and stuff. So I knew who they were before they even got on the show. With Potomac, I didn't know any of these people from a can of paint. So it took me a couple of seasons to, kind of get the groove or whatever, because I didn't know them. I didn't know that Giselle was Jamal's ex-husband. I didn't know anything about any of these women. They just came on the scene, had a seat, and I got hooked. Ginger said Michelle is right about pedigree. I agree. I agree. Mm. I would like to see a co-host, JJ. I think they need a female host. I would love to see a female, like have a different, co-host on there every so often. That would be really nice to see. Nikki says that we did not see how Monique went through her trauma after the fight, right? She had a year to go through her issues. She may have apologized to Candace, but when she jumped and pressed charges, I mean, but it was a week. If you're going to apologize to somebody, you don't take a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as she had that conversation with her pastor, if all those tears were true, she should have got in her car and drove straight on over to Candace, you know, and been like, I am so sorry. But she didn't. So, I mean, she had her opportunity. Boo. QT says that Ashley is young and lives in both worlds, so she will always let stuff out. True. Most black women will try their best not to shame the family. I agree. Walk by Faith says that there was a time when you would have never ever seen women of color behave this way. I totally agree. What happened to pride and dignity and the love of money just throws all of that, your moral compass, out the window. I totally agree. I would never ever get on television and show my butt the way these women have. And Andy did addressed that with Karen. That Karen, when Karen's parents were alive, she was very conscious about what she said and what she did and how she behaved, and now she feels like she has a little bit more freedom, um, because they're gone, and she wants to be more open. So she probably wouldn't have said anything to Ray on camera about "Are you still in love with me or not?" and all of that stuff. Ginger Snap said that Monique simply doesn't fit in. Robin, DST, Wendy, uh, Giz, aka Dorothy, Gladys, TTS, Jamal, Guy, Curtis, Candace went to Harvard, Karen, GN, Monique wants that world. She just doesn't fit. I mean, it's hard. They should have done a better job of casting. But I will say this. Maybe they chose Monique because of her husband's status, and just to see if she would fit in, because that is their fourth home, as she keeps rubbing it in everybody's face. Maybe, everybody thought it would be different. But I knew she was going to be trouble. The first episode she was talking about, well, I rap. I'm a rapper. You're Nobody starts a rap career at that age. What do you mean? Can we just be a housewife? It's not called the Real Rappers of Potomac. It's the Real Housewives of Potomac. And Michelle said, I wish the fight never happened. That was what I was saying when I first came on the air, you guys, is that had this fight never happened, all of this stuff probably wouldn't come flying out of the woodwork. It probably wouldn't have gotten this bad. No Tolerance said, oh, when the adrenaline is pumping, you have to calm down, and you have to take as much time as you need before you realize that you were wrong. When Giselle pushed Monique, I think that escalated the fight. Um, I guess. Both ladies are responsible in the fight. I just think you should really not put your hands on anybody. That's just how I feel. I don't. No tolerance. I don't care for Monique anymore. I was trying to be team Monique in the beginning, but as seasons go on, I just really am like, I could do without her. I mean, I'll go get a cup of coffee, when she comes on. I just, why is she there? Why is she there except for drama? You know what I'm saying? She doesn't fit in. Everybody was, making a valiant effort, I think, but it's too much. It shouldn't be this much. And then when she, says things like, this show has changed me and maybe I shouldn't be in this group and all of that kind of stuff, like, she knows it too. She knows she doesn't fit in. That's why she says the things that she does. I'm listening. I read between the lines. Ginger Snap. She thought money would make her a shoe in, and I'm telling you, D9 don't care about money. They care about education, class, pedigree. They don't get down with ratchet behavior. And I think that's what happened with that. I can't ever. Katie. I think that's what happened with Katie. Now, Katie, she's definitely Potomac, but she had some other issues that just made her not fit in. But I would love to see Katie come back to the show. Hot mess and all. Would love it. JJ says that Monique consider housewives money as a piece of change. Well, if that's the case, she needs to take her last piece of change and go on and live her not for busy mom's life. She's got a podcast. She's a rapper. She's got a rich husband. She doesn't need Potomac. Michelle, after listening to you, I'm going to go back and rewatch this season. Well, thank you, Michelle. Ginger, when we pledge, they stress sisterhood. True. That's why Giselle took to Wendy. Uh-huh, they're sorors. And I noticed that from the jump. I said, well, Wendy's already got one friend. Knew that from the jump. She's already got a friend, so you don't need to worry about Wendy. She's in. Walk by Faith says that when Giselle was the first lady of the church, I'm assuming. I'm sure all she did was sit there and look pretty. I don't believe that she ever picked up the Holy Scripture. She has the spirit of a Jezebel. Giselle, she does know the Bible. Um, Probably not as well as, Jamal. But she, she does. But does she seem like a first lady to me? Absolutely not. Especially after seeing her on this show, I would never peg her for a first lady. Just like going to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The girl Mary on there would never think she was a minister. Never. I'm a minister and I don't go to places that she goes. How are you pastoring a church and you're up in a club with these people just because they're your friend and stuff? Never. Absolutely not. And the opening of the show on Potomac, she's the most anointed one talking? Absolutely not. Lies. They open the show with that lie every Sunday night. And really, somebody should have said, "No, Giselle, you can't say that. That's not in good taste. That's not in good taste at all." Mm-mm. Nope, she's not a first lady to me. Doesn't look like it, doesn't act like it. Michelle said if she's fired, she's taking them all down. I think that's what the binder is for. Oh girl, is she's planning on taking, and Monique, she's planning on taking everybody down. I think that's why her and Chris came armed and dangerous. No Tolerance says, but all of them bring drama though. She messed up hitting the little big mouth girl. But all are ratchet. Nikki says that you don't have to like Monique to be truthful about what happened. I call out Monique when she's wrong. I like the campfire scene. It's just Monique is just too much. Like when she was out there talking about, I will still drag you pregnant and all. That's irresponsible. Why would you pick a fight with somebody and put your unborn child in danger? You know what I'm saying? When you're fighting, if anybody remembers back when we were in high school fighting, you're kicking and scratching and hitting and poking and punching. Why would you put your unborn baby at risk talking about I'll drag you pregnant and all? That doesn't sound right. That's embarrassing. I mean, if I was like one of her kids or whatever, I'd be like, Mom, you really need to control yourself. That's embarrassing. I mean, seriously. The show probably has something to do with the rift in between, her and her husband. She keeps complaining about him not, because she said something on one of the episodes about, if this would, when you have something, I have everything done for you, and then he said, well, then you need to, pick it up and do the same thing for yourself since I'm paying for it. It's like you're married to a whole man, Monique. He's not like you. Men don't think like women. But you should definitely not put yourself in harm's way, especially when you're pregnant. It didn't sound right and it didn't look right. QT said the problem with all franchises is that they have one or two real housewives and the rest are bit players that carry more weight than the real ones. It could be. Walk by Faith says knowing the Bible and living according to the Bible is two different things. Absolutely. Satan knows the Bible. Of course he does. He is Lucifer. From Genesis to Revelation, Jamal is not called by Christ. He's called by his pockets. I can't say that. I don't know if Jamal was called into the ministry by the Lord or if he took the initiative because he wanted this lifestyle. But either way, he's not doing a good job of it. Not because he doesn't know the word. He knows the scripture very well, but his lifestyle speaks completely different. And so does Giselle. So if they were to get back together, would I see them as, a pastor and first lady? No, not after all this. They would have to prove themselves and, show totally different character and behavior and personality changes. Like everything would have to change. So I'm not buying Jamal and Giselle. I don't know what they have going on, but whatever it is, it shouldn't set well with the church either because it just doesn't look right. It doesn't sound right. Somebody needs to tell the truth. Either Giselle needs to say I knew about it and it was fake, or she needs to say I didn't know about it, I was caught off guard. And we're not going to get a straight answer out of Jamal Bryant because Jamal Bryant is a minister. Ministers know how to double talk. We learned that in school. I went to theology school. I know what it's like. I know how to put a sermon together. I mean, Jamal's never going to tell the truth. He's always going to do that double talk. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of feel like because we're never going to know the right answer, maybe Giselle shouldn't be on the show for a minute. I mean, look at Phaedra Parks when she lied on Candace and she told a lie to Portia. She lost her job. She didn't come back and she's never going to be asked to come back. You can't make a mess. Like, you can't really lie like that just to make yourself look like, oh, you have a storyline. No, I don't think that's cool at all. But I just can't see Monique coming back for several reasons. And like I said, I think her marriage is one of the bigger reasons why I feel like she probably won't be back. Not so much the network, but Chris isn't feeling this. He doesn't like it. So, they need to take that into consideration. No Tolerance says that I think Giselle also took to Wendy to shade Karen because Karen isn't too fond of Wendy. Giselle is too ghetto and immature for the first lady role. I don't feel any spirituality in her. She's not a first lady. She's not first lady material. In my black society, very dark skinned men are solely attracted to light skinned women. And in his eyes, Giselle Bryant will always be beautiful. And she is. She's not an ugly lady at all. Um, but it's funny because the women that Jamal has been cheating with don't look like Giselle at all. However, he keeps them in the background. He's never stepped out, in the forefront and said, I'm with, except for Tweet. She's a dark skinned, very beautiful woman. You want Phaedra back? JJ, why? No, we don't need her back. Candy will drag her. We don't need Candy getting into a fight. Because you know how Candy is when she loses her temper. She was going to drag Peter. Y'all remember that when Candy Burris was going to drag Peter? Oh my God. I said, somebody get Candy. Get Candy Burris. She was fixing to drag Peter. I mean, I was like, oh my God. The hood jumped right out of her chest. I mean, she turned into a dude for like 5 seconds. I was like, please, somebody get Candace. Don't let her drag Peter. Peter wouldn't have a leg to stand on. She would have tore him up. She exactly, Ginger Snap. Don't mess with my man. She ain't playing. She is not playing. Nikki said that let me scroll back up a little bit. Every relationship has issues, and I'm sure there's something, but the lying plot was too much. I totally agree. Now, if you coming with facts, that's different. If you coming with facts, Nikki said, that's totally different. But when you start lying to pad your spot on the show, that's when you got to go. Hello, The Observer. How are you? I learned today that Giselle agreed and was on board with Jamal prior to their marriage, that he wouldn't claim or acknowledge a child who recently graduated from college. G and J deserve one another. Wow. Let me read that again, girl. Giselle agreed and was on board with Jamal prior to their marriage that he wouldn't claim or acknowledge a child. So Giselle knew about the child and was in agreement about this child, is what you're saying. That Jamal would not claim or acknowledge a child who recently graduated from college. Is that Zuri's child, though, is what I need to know, because I am like sitting on pins and needles waiting on Zuri, which has a baby by Jamal Bryant. Zuri is the person we're looking for. And I blame Larry Reed Live for this because I didn't even know about Zuri until I watched his show. Woo, child. Ooh, child. This is a hot mess. Ooh. Walk by Faith said that these so-called men of God are supposed to be leaders. I agree. They're supposed to be saving souls. Yes. And building up the Most High Kingdom. Exactly. But instead they are out here in the streets whoring around. I totally agree. The Observer said that Giselle is not attractive to me. I think she's beautiful. She looks average. Well, I've never seen her in person, so I don't know. But I have an aunt that looks like Giselle. She needs. No! The Observer. JJ said, I think they should bring. I do too. Who, JJ? That's a good idea. They should bring the Preacher of LA on Bravo. Ooh, because I used to love that. Now, that was my show. That was my show. Boy, I'm telling, that was my show. I loved it. I watched every minute of it. Y'all know I'm a PK and I've worked in ministry most of my life. So anything to do with them preachers getting called out, I love it. Is Zuri the baby? So we want to talk to Zuri's mama. That's who we want to talk to. Thank you, Michelle. Zuri is the baby. So we want to talk to Zuri. We're concerned about Zuri. So we want to talk to Zuri's mama. Now, where is Zuri? Is Zuri in Baltimore? Is that where she's at? Nikki said you laugh at Candy going off, but you talked about Monique. Candy going off was funny because the way the scene was set up. Did you watch it? She didn't hit anybody, but she was, look, Candy is this itty bitty tiny woman. You know what I'm saying? Monique is quite, she has a little bit on Candace. That wasn't funny at all. When Monique grabbed and slammed her head down, that wasn't funny. Candace could have got hurt. Candace could have been seriously hurt. Could have slammed that girl's face down, broke her nose, broke her teeth out. I mean, she could have been hurt bad. Candy Burris jumping on Peter would have been a show. Now, if you want Nikki Pooh, if you want to talk about who I do think should have been fired on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I totally think that Portia should have been fired because I don't think Kenya's antics deserved her getting jumped on. I actually thought she should have been fired before Nene got fired or kicked off or whatever. To be honest with you, but that's just my opinion. That's just my, commentary. It's just the way I see it. I don't agree with any of it, and I'm glad that Kim Zolciak got her behind off of Real Housewives. But you see, they gave her another show, and this is what I said a couple days ago on one of my live streams. I said that it would be great if Monique and Chris got a spin-off show because they already have a family, kind of similar to Kim Zolciak Bierman. They have, a whole family that could be a spin-off, and then Monique wouldn't have to worry about the other children, about the other women. Excuse me. Did I call those women children? I didn't say that. No Tolerance said, I don't know, Twana. I detect favorism. Absolutely. I don't like Monique. I just told y'all that. Violence is violence regardless. I mean, I'm from the South. We talk trash, No Tolerance. But you probably weren't in when I first was, saying all this. I take it back. There's no favoritism. I'm just from the South. We talk trash out here all the time. It's funny to us. So Candace talking trash to Peter was absolutely funny to me. Now, if it had have gotten physical, I probably would have shut my eyes real tight because I don't know if Peter can fight or not. You're talking about a woman fighting a woman versus a woman fighting a man. Like, it was funny to see little bitty itty bitty Candy Burris want to jump on Peter. That was funny. But in no way, shape, form, or fashion would I have been laughing had she actually clawed his eyes out or something. Trash talking. You could talk trash all day, every day, but don't put your hands on me. And as far as that goes, let me just say this. I don't know what them women in Potomac was talking about, but if Monique, whatever her name is, had jumped on me, I would have called the law. Forget an attorney. The cops would be on the ground. She just hit me. She just tried to drag me. I've got witnesses. I've got witnesses. The Observer. Not really. I do have Twitter, but I just haven't been like a Twitter fan this year. So I tend not to see I tend not to see Candace's, antics on Twitter. Um I do tweet sometimes when the show is on. Yeah. And I mean like I would like Monique better if she was on a spinoff show. Just like Kim Zolciak. I don't like Kim when she's on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But don't be tardy, I can tolerate her. And if nothing else is on TV, I might watch it, but at this point, the damage that Kim Zolciak has done to her face is so unattractive. That's really the reason why I don't even watch it. And her girls have started to alter their face. They get the, fillers in their face and the plumping of the lips. And I just don't agree with that. I think it's disgusting. You never liked Kim? I liked her the first season. And then after that, I was over it. Like when her and, oh girl, Chateau Charest. I like you, Observer. Ginger Snap said, if I were Candace, I would have called the law. Exactly. That girl said, and life alert. I'm done with you. No tolerance is right. That's what Candace should have done if she really felt violated. I would have. I don't care how upset. I would have been like, give me my cell phone. Give me my cell phone. I'm calling 911. I most certainly would have. No tolerance says, yes, Kim and the girls are messing their faces up. They look like clowns. They do. They really look crazy. When I saw Brielle, was it on Instagram or something? I couldn't believe it was her. She looks my age. She looks like she could be in her 40s. I mean, like, I'm so disappointed at Kim Zolciak. If you want to mess your face up, that's fine. But don't act like it's okay for somebody that young. Those kids don't have wrinkles. They don't have any. Why would you want lips that big? Are you kidding me? That does not look good at all. Does that stuff even go down when you plump your lips up? Does that stuff ever go away? Because that looks terrible. Like, it looks real bad. I'm serious. Like, and now the little one, Brielle's little sister is jumping on the bed. And the way they dress in front of their mother, oh, I would never. My mom would hang me from a tree. You're right, the Observer. It's their mother's influence. They would. They would hang me. My mom would hang me from a tree. Forget about being lynched in, Coleman, Alabama. Shoot, my mom would be, go out there and get me 12 switches. Like, I'm beat. I have been beaten by my mother because because I wanted to dress like Kim Zolciak. I think she does encourage it, the Observer. I do. Nikki Pucel says that for the record, where I'm from, you don't step to anyone with words, finger, hand in their face, and not think you might not be dragged. No promoting violence, but that's how it is. See, I didn't grow up like that. I did not grow up like that. And for me, Nikki, after I got into my first real fight, I was kind of afraid to fight anymore. Like, I really learned how to walk away because I broke this girl's nose, and I was so, it shook me up because sometimes, and you don't know, like, and everybody knows my story. When I was growing up, I was going through molestation. My biological father was beating up my mom all the time. He was a drug dealer. There was a whole lot of stuff. So I have anxiety. I had my first ulcer when I was 12 years old. Not to, drag the story down or anything, but the whole thing was I had a lot on my back. I had a lot on my plate as a child. So I don't need to be fighting because, all of what I was feeling, all of what was pent up was coming out on this poor girl. And, you know what I'm saying? All she did was, well, not all she did. I mean, she kind of bumped into me and she kind of called me the N word. And that's something that, you don't do. But the fight didn't have to be that aggressive. I didn't have to go that far. But it was just, when you have a lot on you and then you don't, have an outlet, stuff like that happens. And I think that's what happened in Monique's case. I feel like she goes through a lot. And that's kind of what she said to her pastor, all of this stuff that she had been going through. That's why you need an outlet. Go to the gym or something. Don't wait till your next fight so you can beat somebody up, beat them to a pulp. You know, I feel like if these people were more productive, if these wives had some more stuff to do, that would get a hobby or something. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, get a hobby. You know, learn how to do something new. QT said, "I grew up when you had to wear shorts under your dress." Absolutely, Kim and the girls know nothing of modesty. You put a dress on, you better have your shorts on up under there, or else you ain't wearing the dress. Point blank in the period. Mm-hmm. Oh no, JJ, I'm fine. It made me the woman that I am. Hate that I have to go through stuff like that because I feel for other teenage girls that have to go through stuff like that, but I don't regret anything. And I feel like these women have gone through so much and they let us into their lives and they tell their stories. It surprises me how juvenile they act sometimes because we get to hear their story. You know what I'm saying? That's what surprises me so much is I'm hearing your story and I'm hearing all of these things that you say that you went through and you still turn around and tear each other down. And that's kind of depressing in a way. The Observer says I wear boy shorts with my short dresses. Got to. Still to this day, I'm 49. Okay? No Tolerance says exactly. That's exactly what happened to Monique. I'm glad you finally acknowledged it. You have an isolated story, which is why you have learned a better way to channel your anger. Exactly. That's all I was saying, before. I just feel like you gotta not take out your aggression from when you were 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Observer. You gotta not do that. That's why you don't need to be hitting people. You don't need to put your hands on people. Nikki said, "Did you see the video where Bishop Earl Carter went in on Jamal Bryant? It is hilarious and a must." I did not. I did not, but it's on my list. It is on my list. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and look it up. I'm gonna look this up because I need to see it. I need to see it to believe it. Bishop Earl Carter. Let me see. Bishop Earl Carter. Okay. Okay. The Kojic Church interview with Bishop. Okay. Let me type Jamal to make sure I got the right. Jamal Bryant. Sin makes you a narcissist. Is that it? December 11th, 2020. Jamal, new birth. Global Greenleaf, the real story of Kojic. Bishop Joe Patterson, his son Benjamin. Pastor runs away during church service. What? There's a lot of stuff in here. I'm gonna have to look this dude up. What now? Bishop Earl Carter at New Birth. Earl Carter YouTube. Okay, there are a lot of them on here, so I'm gonna have to check these out. Thanks for the tip. Yes, yes. I'm gonna be watching this. I'm gonna be watching this. As a matter of fact, I'm probably gonna watch it in a few minutes because I'm gonna get off of here. It's 1:36 a.m. Central Standard Time in the great state of Alabama, and it was two videos. I think I googled it. I googled it, so I have probably the first few, on the list is probably them, but I do see some thumbnails that look like that might be it. Um, ha! He called him a Judas goat. Oh God. Ginger Snaps his question: if someone calls Milani poopy head, will Monique teach her daughter to drag them? I don't know. Will Monique teach her daughter to fight? I think that our little girls and our little women in training should take self-defense classes, but I don't think they should. I think that, all women should learn how to defend themselves. So a self-defense class would definitely be in order. But no, I don't think I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question, Ginger. I don't know. That just the observer. Thank you, No Tolerance. The Observer said that this is perplexing. I'm interested in other views. Candace loves calling women hood rats and ghetto. She uses negative verbiage. Why? I have never used that type of language. You have to get me really mad, The Observer. You have to get me really, really mad in order for me to start hurling stuff like that. But I don't know. I think when I hear Candace speak like that, she sounds like her mother. And I said that on one of my live streams. Um, QT, you see all four together. Okay. We probably did the same search. But I don't hear Candace. It's like she's two different people, if I can say that. Maybe split personality ish. Um, she sounds a lot like her mother when she uses stuff like that. They're hood rats. They're ghetto. They're not on your level. They're classless. That sounds like her mother. That's not in my lexicon. She does. She does that. And then Monique does say that she's from the hood. She's got some ghetto in her. She's hood. Well, I mean, if you know that and you own it, that's great. I don't I don't know if I'm actually from I know I'm from the country. I don't know if that's a hood or not, but I'm definitely from the country. Still live close to the country. And I want to treat people how I like to be treated. That's my whole thing, is that in this growth of mine, and I'll be 50 next year, the reason that I like doing these live streams and these videos is, here is how not to do something. And then if I were in their shoes, this is what I would do to turn it into a positive. I would never think to treat people such a way on purpose. That's not how real life is for me. And also, you have to consider the circle of friends. This is reality TV, the main word in here being TV, but it should be reality. And you don't want to teach your children how to behave like this. When those kids grow up and they see this stuff on the internet, they see this stuff on TV, because they're going to have a 20-year anniversary where they're going to show all this stuff, just like they did I Love New York and Flavor of Love and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? I would not want anything out there to where my children would, number one, be embarrassed by, or number two, they could say something like, well, my mama drugged this woman, so I can too. Like, I don't want that. I think that these people should watch what they say, watch how they behave. It's not decent. And these are beautiful women. These are beautiful ladies. They're beautiful wives. I'm sure their children love them immensely. You know, I feel like I would be more interested to see what obstacles they have in their life and how they overcome it, rather than dragging one another. I think that that is trashy. It is. And I don't think that Candace understands using that verbiage, using that kind of language, makes her look a little bit trashy as well. I think that all of them at this point, I don't know if it's because of the show, but I think all of them need counseling. I think they need a prep course before you take the contract for any reality TV. There needs to be some type of boot camp. They need to get in boot camp and get prepared like they do celebrities. because this is a whole different ball of wax. This is not a sitcom. This is reality TV, and I think they need to be forewarned before they take this job of, what's going to happen. They need to talk to some professionals. You know what I'm saying? You know, might have a psychiatrist on standby. You know, yeah, I think so. Let me get you to understand what you're going to be walking into, because again, there are a lot of things that go on that we don't see. We're fans, so we tune in and they show us what they edit, but we don't get to see what's really going on behind the scenes if they don't want us to see those parts, and we never will. They're not going to have a after show where they show all the outtakes and stuff like that. It's never going to happen, you know. No Tolerance said, unfortunately, whether we teach our children or not, if they are of the world, they will learn it from others and will need to make a choice to fight or not. This is true. I don't think my daughter's ever really been in a fight, but I homeschooled her for most of her education, so we didn't have those issues. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a whole lot of peer pressure. There wasn't a whole lot of, this girl said and this girl got in my face and this, that, and the other. The only time that I remember Bree getting into a fight, she slapped this girl because the girl once again used the N word and, kept doing it, and it just really got on her nerves. But, we had that talk. And unfortunately, living in the South, you're going to hear that a lot. So you're going to have to find something else, to do, whether you ignore them or, whether you set them straight. You need to be, educate yourself on what that word means and why it's demeaning and why it's degrading and why you don't, you know, stoop down to somebody else's level. But that again, that's just me. I'm just a different character. I'm not perfect by any means. I still make mistakes to this day, but I just, I thrive when I know that I'm doing better. Those are just some things that these people need to think about. And I wonder sometimes, even if you're on a reality show, do you think about that? Do you think about becoming a better person? Do you think about, what your viewers might say in regards to, oh, she's made a really great change. She's great on the show now. And I would love to hear somebody say, you have really grown for the better on this show. To see someone who's, really come a long way. That would be awesome. Instead of, you've changed and not in a good way. You know what I'm saying? The Observer, Candace and Monique might make up. I don't know. Because for real, we don't know how deep this thing really was. We don't know if they've even talked or not. We don't know. I mean, we don't know. Sadly, Candace's mother co-signs her bad behavior towards the other women, so can't see how she looks. Well, that's why I want them to separate some. I need Candace to be a wife right now and think about motherhood and get out of her mother's, eyesight for a minute. Just, you know what I'm saying? I just go, you know, leave Candace and her husband alone for a minute and let her morph into the wife that she's supposed to be, because she's not going to think straight as long as her mom is there whispering in her ear. But I promise you that that language is so like her mother. Candace's mother thinks she is better than Jesus Christ. She thinks she is the best thing since sliced bread. And I just don't understand why. I'm sure she might be a nice woman and all, but come on. It's like you're really not better than the rest of us. You're human just like we are. I understand, Observer. And probably if I knew these people in real life, I probably would like all of them. But, you know, unfortunately, what we see on TV is what we can get of these people. And I must do a better job of, looking into their live streams and stuff like that to try to get a sense of who they are when they're not on the show. Checking out their social media, because normally I just follow people that I like. Um, but in this line of business, being a commentator, I think it's important to see, all of them. And so I know all of them have had some things to say on social media. So it may shed some light on who they really are outside of the show. But I do agree. I think that Candace's mom, QT, should stay out of their business for a little bit, and she should let Candace, grow, because she's going in a different direction. She can't stay a child forever. I think Monique and Candace will make up. My sons didn't fight either, but I also homeschooled them 8th through 12th. How ironic. Yes, honey. Homeschool is where it's at. Uh, they the same thing about Bad Girls Club wanting to see growth. Now that's funny. Oh my God, no tolerances, and I think that they will go on the show with the intent to act a fool and get paid for it. Money talks. Those shows promote immature and messy behavior. I wish it was something totally different because, like I said, I expected something different out of Potomac. I thought Candace's mom looked similar to TD Jake's wife. Does she real? She kind of favors Sarita, but Sarita Jakes is totally different. She's a different. She's cut from a different cloth. Walk by Faith says, I do not condone violence, but Candace like to provoke you, and the Bible says not to provoke people. Candace's mouth is nasty and hateful. I think that her and Monique have that issue. A matter of fact, I think a lot of the women on that panel have that issue. They will say stuff and be nice, nasty. I can't just say it's just Candace because all of them can get loud. All of them can get obnoxious. I mean, look at Giselle. And then Karen, is coming out of the woodwork this last season with a bunch of stuff. And I'm shocked at her. I'm like, what? Karen? You used to not be like that, but people change. Nikki says arrogant, delusional, conscientious, uh, seared with a hot iron. Oh my God. 7,794 views. Streamed live on December 16, 2020. This is the video to watch for Earl Carter. Okay, I got you. I got you. Now I know what you're saying. Let me copy and paste this. Got to be more careful. Yes. All right. Yes, honey. And search. I got it. I got it. It was the first video that popped up. Thanks, boo. Yeah, I agree with that. Hurt people hurt people. I totally agree with that. It's crazy Candace exhibits all the things that she dislikes about her mother. It's not crazy though. She raised Candace. Candace can't get away from it unless she gets away from her mom. She needs to stay in counseling. I commend Candace for counseling. She needs to stay there. She'll see it eventually. Everything that she doesn't like about her mom, that's what she does. But she was the, parental in the home. You know what I mean? So there are things that I don't like about myself that like because my mom is very low key and stuff like that, and sometimes I do wish I could get like mad a little bit more or something, but not be so nice because people try to take your niceness for weakness, but maybe that's the thing about my mom that people like. I just wish that I, had a little bit more backbone or something. I don't know how to say it, but you know, I don't want to be looked at as, she was just the sweetest. Like she's too sweet. Like no, no. But I want her to move far away and enjoy her life as a wife. I think that I'm telling you, Candace's mother needs a man, and she needs to go out on some dates, and she needs to get a life. She cannot live vicariously through her daughter. She needs to go. Actually, I heard Sarita and TD are not that kind, which is why their children strayed a while. Maybe a rumor, but it was said back years ago. I don't know, but I know their two daughters, Sarah and Cora, are great speakers. They grew up to be very intelligent young women, um, and I like TD Jakes and Sarita. Uh, I like them in person, and I like them on the internet and on TV. It's just one of those families that I like to see, and I don't I don't look for things to take that away. Like I don't want to hear any rumors about these people and stuff like that. I want them to stay the course. I don't want TD Jakes to be cheating on Sarita and all this kind of stuff. I want them to be cool. No Tolerance said, that's right, children have learned behaviors from their parents. The Observer says that, did you hear that Miss Dorothy's husband is a cheater and that they're getting a divorce? Miss Dorothy's husband is a cheater? Miss Dorothy's husband is a cheater and they are getting a divorce. Why can I not think about who Miss Dorothy is? Who is Miss Dorothy? Miss Dorothy's husband is a cheater and they are getting a divorce. JJ said, LOL, whatever you dislike later on, you become it. Ugh, I believe it. Look at how many pregnant women have said, I just can't stand my husband, and then their kids end up looking just like him. The Observer's Dorothy Dillard Lockwood, Candace's mother. Is she married? She doesn't act like a married woman. But then again, I don't live in Potomac. I don't, child. I don't know. I thought she was already divorced. I didn't think she had a man. I got you, girl. I'm on it, Nikki. Walk by Faith says that all of these women need to go to etiquette school and learn better behavior and how to treat one another and have some class and dignity about themselves and leave all the pettiness behind. They used to talk about etiquette in the first season. Do y'all remember that? Yeah, I got it now. Candace's mom is Dorothy. I didn't know she was married. She's legally separated? Well, she needs to go do something. If she's legally separated, she needs to go ahead and get a divorce or fight for her marriage and stay out of Candy's business. Candace doesn't need her right now. Candace's stepfather. Okay. Well, she needs to do something. She needs to do something because what she's doing right now, meddling in Candace's life, is not helping anybody at all. All right, you guys, it has been 2 hours and 11 minutes, so I'm going to call this a wrap. It has been so much fun. I love chatting with you guys. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button because we do this often. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And be safe out there. Mask it up. Get your hand sanitizer, your spray alcohol, all that good stuff. And, stay safe. Mask it up. I can't say it enough. All right, guys. I am out of here, but I love you guys. Thanks for hanging with me. And until next time, live on purpose and Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. But I'll talk to y'all before.